Hello, this is Mark, and today we have again a case study on Jade Lizard. Well, maybe the Jade Lizard that was so successful last week with the XLF, so now I tested out with three more ETF indexes, but not all are working so fine as I would wish to. So the other question would be what to do if the option is in the money as expiration. Well, let's see how I did it. Jade Lizard we are looking is the TLT, which is nothing else than the iShares 20 plus year treasury bond. So in other words, it's an ETF fund on bonds because I have selected not only an ETF on shares. I think it's good that you can see how to do an ETF on bonds, and then later on we will look at one at oil, and the third one is on gold. So here actually you see the same procedure to repeat. Trade Lizard is a kind of strategy call credit spread, let's see here, plus selling of one put. So you see the actual TLT price is a 101.29. So what I always try is to find something in between. 101 is 100 the put, 102 the call, and 102.50 as a protection, the buying the call. Well, here maybe it would make sense not only to buy the 102.50, maybe we could even buy the 103. It would give me a higher credit, and actually the risk would be limited to 100 instead of 50. So I will look at it next time. But just to see now, to illustrate this example, I get a credit of 93. Expiration is the 2nd of June. So in other words, there's another 10 days to go, or let's say now just four more days, as we have Memorial Day on Monday. Jade Lizard on TLT works very fine. Within 1 week, you can see the price is still at 101.09, and this is a kind of price showing up on the 26th, last Friday. So the debit, let's say the credit we got of 83 is now coming down to 41. This is why we have this still wide range of 100 and 102. So it's still in the middle, which is perfect for us. So it's always time value loss of the options on both sides. So you can see now there's not much left. So it's just 41 left. In other words, that I could now close the position in having a 50% gain. Just to remind you, we only pay on one side the commission. So let's say if I sold, or if I did this Jade Lizard about 1 week ago, I paid $3. But when I close the same position, I will not have to pay anything. So my cost would be $3. So when you see that we got 83 and we would buy in 41, so we would have a profit of 42 minus 3 would be still a profit of 39. So that would be a possibility. Now I do this example just with one option, right? One call, one put, and another call. But let's say if you would do that with 5 or 10, then I would certainly recommend you to do partially close with a 50%. Let's say out of 10 options, I would maybe close 5, or just at least close it, because 50% gain is really a good thing in options. So maybe you should not just try to get the 100% gain when you have a larger position. Jade Lizard I did was on UCO, which is nothing else than the Ultra Bloomberg crude oil. So it's a kind of really, I would say, quite speculative Jade Lizard, because you can see here the volatility is 60%. So really this oil is moving very fast. But to illustrate, on the 24th of May, you can see here, I did this kind of Jade Lizard in selling the put, selling the call, buying the call, and get 0.83 credit, as it's seen here, right? So again, the crude oil was at that moment about 25.50. So my expectation is that it keeps in between these two range of 25 to 27. Well, look how it performs till last Friday. So you can see that the price of the UCO just dropped from 25.50 to 24.72. So in other words, it already has touched more or less the 25 put we are selling, right? And the credit is still at 85. Well, this is because now the whole 85 or whatever credit is now on the put side, because if you see here the call side, they are more or less worthless. So what happened is now that I still didn't win anything, because remember I get 83 credit. Now I would have to buy the put for 85. So in other words, it's better I will not do anything for the moment, because this option would have an expiration in June 2nd. That means now I will wait a little bit till maybe the June 1st, because, and as you see here, of this 85 debit of the put, actually the intrinsic value is just 28. In other words, the real value of the option is just 28, because I take the strike minus the actual, so it's 28. So the remaining is still this kind of time value for now, just another 4 days. So better I wait till the 1st of June and decide about here what to do. Either I roll over into a new put, but if the oil would close above 25, well, then I would just closing the put, or just the put would expire worthless. So this is now a kind of standby. I wait till the 2nd or 1st of June. So the third ETF I did on as a Jade Lizard is the GDX. It is nothing else the Finite Gold Miners ETF. You see the price I did on the 16th of May. The gold price was 33.01. So here again I did a kind of put 32, called 34, as you can see here, and I get 0.43 credit. The volatility is about 37%, so it's certainly less than the oil volatility, but still much higher than, let's say, a volatility of the financial basket, as I did, or the bond basket, TLT, which are all around between maybe 15 to 20% volatility. 37 is quite high, and that shows me now too that actually I have to admit that this 0.43 is certainly not enough to get a credit when we see such fluctuation in the gold. You can see that the Jade Lizard has the expiration 26 May, that was last Friday, and this is just a look into it on the 25th of May. Here you see now that it's the price of the option is 30.52, so it's far inside in the money of this 32 put I was selling. So here now you can see that I get only 0.43 credit, but now the debit would be 162, or you can do it actually easy. You just take the strike price of 32 minus the actual price of 30.52. So actually the intrinsic value would be 1.48, but since there are some days left, we can calculate now 1.62. So you see I have now the choice on the 25, it's just 2 days before expiration, either to roll over into June put option, or to closing at a loss. So I show you in my next page what I did so far. See now here on the 26th, I mean the Jade Lizard is now, what I did is a rollover from the May 32 into June 32. So the expiration is May 26. I roll over into June 16 and I get a credit of 0.42. So in other words, the 0.4 is just again the time value I get. So when you see now the credit, I got 0.43 plus 0.42. So I have actually now a credit of 0.85, which I deduct from the 32. So my break even is now 31.15, still a bit far from the actual course, actual price of about 30.60 whatsoever, but at least I have roll over it, because I don't want to get executed at 32. What would be my next step? here again the survey, how I did. My next step would be if the gold would go a bit up from this kind of 30.5 which we have, maybe to 31 or 32, I would certainly sell a call spread to offset the put position. But for the moment, I just did a rollover into June. So we will see now how gold will perform the next 1 or 2 weeks. Maybe I have to roll over it again, or maybe I have to cover or close the position with a loss on the put side. But I still think that now this gives me a bit time, so you can see what are the positions to do whenever the strategy is going against you. Strategies Jade Lizard on TLT, UCO and GDX. What's very important in this video was that I can show you too, in case that it would not work out, what to do, how to roll over, because it's always that not everything works so smooth. And I think this is the challenge for every trader, for every investor, to look what can we do with options if the market is against you. So I hope you could enjoy it a little bit this video, and always I will continue in giving all more practical examples, because as I said, not everything goes so smooth. So I think this is what an investor needs to learn about, is to how to offset positions which are maybe not so where he's not really comfortable with. That's all for today. I thank you for your attention. Goodbye.